Hey, alumni friends, Troy Ellis here from the foundation. And for those of you who don't know me, I'm the Director of Alumni Relations and Development for North Hennepin Community College. I thought it'd be fun to connect here on Facebook, practice some social distancing, and have some conversations that help us to better connect, relate, share some mutual experiences, and also talk about maybe tips, obstacles, changes to your job, or maybe just some general words of affirmation or encouragement as we embrace the COVID challenge. And joining me today is Mr. Eric Rios, an alum of North Hennepin Community College from 2012 to 2014. Eric attended, and he is an account executive for Recover Health. Eric, I really appreciate you being here today.
Happy to be here.
That's awesome. I appreciate it. So tell me a little bit about Recover Health.
Sure. So Recover Health is a Medicare-based home care agency. We are located here in Minnesota. Our office is located in Minnetonka. So we have been around for over 10 years now. And in that time, we have grown to over 30 offices in 6 states, which allows us to serve over 11,000 people a year.
Oh, that is fantastic. And so tell me about your role as an account executive, right?
Yes. So my role as an account executive traditionally, before all of this happened, was to kind of be out in the field, um, meeting with our partners and referral sources to them understand what the needs for home care is, help them transition patients to home care, and kind of work through some of those operational kinks that sometimes arise when you have a number of people coming together to take care of one particular person at any given time, and then obviously sometimes multiple people in one particular area.
Okay, very good. And so I imagine you've had some changes to your job. I know last week when we spoke, you were still at the job, but of course, Governor Walz now has issued his order, and we're all working remotely. So, what changes or adjustments have you had to make?
Yeah, so some of the things, obviously, no longer allowed in the field. And as of Friday, they no longer wanted me in the office. So now I'm 100% remote. Um, and with that being said, my job has changed dramatically. So obviously, I've had to come up with a plan and execute it how I am able to transition my job where I was primarily out in the field working with these partners to now working remotely through email, Zoom, Teams meetings, communicating over phone and email consistently, and working through to transition patients from not receiving home care to receiving home care, and making sure that they get updates consistently and that we're coordinating together in kind of in a little bit of different fashion. Whereas before, they were able to kind of say, hey, I have this person who needs home care. Can you help facilitate that? And I'd say yes. And then if I needed to get additional documentation, I could just go to that particular place and get it, while I'm not able to do that anymore.
Oh, for sure. And I'm sure this has been stressful for those that you are serving. And I'm imagining there are some obstacles and things that you're facing. What do some of those things look like?
Yeah, some of those obstacles that we faced are, obviously educating our partnerships on what we need to open for home care, educating them on the steps we're taking to maintain, obviously, safe social distancing, and educating the families, and then, of course, how we're keeping our staff safe out in the field. As we have, nurses, CNAs, and therapists that are all out in the field helping these people in their home rather than in a hospital setting or in a transitional care unit. So it's been very interesting. It's overcoming a lot of new challenges, kind of getting into a cadence and figuring out what we each need to be successful.
Absolutely. It kind of tightens the game, though. At least that's what I've found. I have been working myself remotely for 2 weeks. This is your first week remotely. So when you're thinking about tips and strategies maybe for remote work, what might those be, Eric?
Yeah, so I think the biggest thing that I did was, once I was no longer able to physically go out there, is I started kind of staying in the same routine as much as possible. I still kind of wake up at the same time. I still have the same schedule as I would do as if I were leaving to go out to the field. I create a space where it would kind of be like a standard office. I don't want music or and, I don't want TV on. I kind of keep the same cadence. I actually make a list of everything I need to do in the morning, and then I check it off as I'm doing it. And then as things obviously pop up, I'm doing it that way. But I also make sure that I stay active. I've been running every day. I have been able to stay active inside the home. But I've also, one of the things that I found most important is I actually have been stopping myself and force myself to take like a break or a lunch rather than, just working through and just powering because you're at home and you don't feel like you need it. I've been forcing myself to do that. And I found out that when I come back, I'm energized and I'm able to continue working, and it's not such a difficult time. As we're in Minnesota and we're just coming off of winter, and now we're kind of stuck in the homes and just getting to look in the sun, and we're not able to kind of perform the same tasks that we're used to doing. And I found that forcing myself to take a break has actually really helped increase my workflow.
I bet. And that's really some phenomenal advice. And, we're going to close here with, I think it's so important, to keep positive. I know you feel the same way, Eric, and anything that you would want to say via words of encouragement or some affirmation that you're seeing in all of this.
Yeah, I think that one of the biggest words of encouragement is that, people are still hiring for jobs. And, one of the quotes that I recently saw was, some of the most difficult roads have the best destinations. And I think this is an opportunity for us to take this road and make it the destination that we want rather than the destination that we're seeing.
I love that, Eric. So alumni out there listening today, do you guys have any remote tips, maybe books you've been reading, wellness strategies, exercise strategies, maybe even work strategies, how you're overcoming remote obstacles? Let us know here. We'd love to connect with you, create a responsive community that has added value and fun for everybody. So, Eric, I can't thank you enough for joining us today. And everybody out there, please stay healthy and safe.
Thank you.